Yeah, baby. Hey, guys, welcome back to a new episode of Small Things. Small Things is a podcast where I have small things that happen to me throughout the day, and they become large problems in my life. You know, just being a normal human being. That's what life's all about. It's just people overreacting to whatever bugs them. Some things bug one person and not the other. I remember I dated a girl once, and some things would make me really annoyed, and I would kind of be in my own little area, and I'd be frustrated and handling it as I do, which is biting my lip and screaming. And she got mad because I couldn't, she was like, well, your thing's setting me off. And I was just like, I'm over here doing my own thing. And it's interesting, like when you say what bugs you, what really bugs you, that doesn't bug the other person. But then that's the same thing with somebody else, where something that really bugs her or somebody else might not bug me. And what does that mean? That means maybe some of the I'm going to be saying is gonna completely go over your head, and some of the things I say are gonna just really resonate with you, and we're gonna have a good time. And I think, guess what, guys? I think I'm a general, vague enough human being where we are gonna have a great time. I'm 5'11" and 3/4, and I think I'm shrinking. I don't know. I don't want to check. I've been lying about my height my whole life, and I'm finally ready to tell you that I am 5'11". I'm a 5'11" man. I am under 6 feet. It doesn't feel good to say that. I feel like a lesser than human being. I feel like I'm almost eligible for a short king status in the grand scheme of life. Let's think about life. I mean, yes, there's men who are 5'8", and that's disgusting. I mean, no offense if you're a 5'8" man, but like, just transition. We don't need 5'8" men. Like, anybody, this is like life's a roller coaster, baby. If you're under a certain height, guess what? You can't play the ride of man. You have to switch teams, which honestly, I gotta say, we're 2025 now. Transgenders they've been around. No, it's nothing new to anybody. And I will say, I feel like trans men statistically are not being recognized as the opposite gender as much as trans women. And I'm genuinely not trying to be rude about this at all. I'm just saying, whenever you meet a man and they're like, oh, I used to be a woman, you're like, I didn't know. Oh my God, it's crazy. I was watching a season of Survivor, and there was a guy on there, and next thing you know, in one of the interviews, he's like, I was born a woman. And I was like, I would have never in a trillion years guessed that. I mean, I think the hormone therapy to get a girl to become a guy is just killing it. And then I feel like the other way around, it's more noticeable. You know what I'm saying? But I also think it's the frame you're trying to transition, you know? Again, going back to height, if a 6'2" dude is like, I'm going to be a girl, I think the frame, the outline of you is what's going to mess things up. And I'm like, maybe you guys got to do some sort of height removal therapy, height removal surge. I mean, you see a lot of guys like doing that surgery where they extend the bone below their knees. They'll like slowly crank it like it's like a medieval torture trap just to be taller, which it's funny. It's funny, and because it's so fucking sad that's the how powerful the man's height is, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do that surgery for maybe 3/4 of an inch. I just want to be like 6 foot and 3/4. I'm just going to get a little crank. You know what I'm saying? Like this medieval torture, Chinese torture, you can't say that, twisting mechanism to make you bigger. But I'm like, if guys do that to get bigger, maybe people who are transitioning want to do that to get smaller. I don't know, but that's the height thing. That's how powerful it is. And you know what? I'm 38. I'm a 38-year-old man. At some point in your life, you got to just come clean. Some of us are coming dirty. All right, sorry. Oh, I dropped my phone after I said that, and now it's on the ground. Yeah, some of us have been coming dirty your whole lives, and guess what? It's time to come clean, baby. Get checked, come clean, and I am. I'm telling you my height. I'm telling you, my height is 5'11". It's 5'11 and 3/4, but you know what? I'll round down for the sake of the bit. And I've been lying about how good I've been at sports in high school. That's it. That's me really bearing all. Girls Gone Wild, we're bearing all. I should be on an episode of Girls Gone Wild, and I'm in the back, and I'm saying I was okay at baseball, and they're like, boy, that slut really is showing all. And why'd I do that? Because you know what? At some point, the stories need to stop. And you know what? I'm happy I've come clean about my athletic abilities. It's sad when you're in environments where you still see the guys hanging on to those stories that are so embellished. They're so twisted and manipulated, and you know if certain people were in the room, the story couldn't be told the same way because it's just pumped with lies. It's filled with lies the way, you know, The Rock is filled with steroids. It's just buzzing. And they're fun to hear because, again, I can see through the bullshit. But I didn't want to be that guy anymore. I was like, you know what? I don't need to be telling people this, that, and the other about how I'm hitting 2 home runs in high school. The fence wasn't even far. The fence was not far. Yes, I technically hit the ball over the fence, but the fence was not far. And people told me that on the bus, and I go, you're haters. And through the years, I didn't disclose the distance of the fence in my home run telling stories. And, you know, again, if somebody from my high school team was in the room and I said to a group of people, you know, and I'm like, hey, I hit a couple dingers in high school. If I knew that guy was in the corner, I'd probably whisper that part of the story because that guy could have said the fence was 200 feet away. You hit a pop-up and it was windy. The pitcher was throwing 60-mile-an-hour lobs. And I'm like, you know what? We get what you're doing to me. Stop ruining my life. And I didn't like being out of control. I didn't want to be out of control in certain scenarios. I worked backwards. I go, why is that? Because I'm lying, or I'm embellishing. I'm withholding facts. You know, that sounds like the news. I was delivering my high school glory day sports stories like the news would. Where I was like, man hits fucking dinger. And then in small text, it says, fence was 200 feet away. He hit it off a freshman who was throwing with his right arm, and the rest of the team was convinced that's not even his dominant arm. But whatever, dude, who cares? But that's it. I'm getting older, and I'm ready to just become. I'm evolving. I'm Pikachu, or I'm Squirtle, and I'm trying to turn into Blastoise. If you guys like Pokemon, you would understand the reference. And I actually think I skipped a thing, but what's good about me though? See, like, how am I gonna start forward? I don't know. How do I shed myself of the lies of my height and my athletic abilities and now move forward? And it's just talk about how I'm a healthy guy. I'm healthy. I get heart palpitations often. I have cholesterol that's just at the ceiling of the limit. My blood pressure is never low at the doctor's office, but I feel healthy. I work out. One thing I get is a lot of nighttime boners or erections. I'm sorry. See, there's certain words you're not allowed to use. Apparently, yeah. Doctors are like, nighttime erections means you're healthy. I'm like, well, I'm ripping nighttime boners. They go, that means you're unhealthy, which I'm like, it's the same thing. They go, a boner means you're awake. An erection means you're asleep. I go, that's not real. That's not true. But yeah, it's funny. That's a weird statistic you hear. And I learned that when I was watching this vegan documentary about how a plant-based diet is giving guys stronger, thicker erections, or bones, as I call them. And yeah, it's crazy. Like, I didn't know the frequency of nighttime erections mean you're healthy. Let's end this. Yes, frequent nighttime erections, nocturnal penile tumescence, or NPT. Your boy's got NPT. Are a strong indicator of good vascular and nerve health, reflecting proper blood flow and nervous system function essential for erections, especially with Matty Chimber and his fat sleepy time dong. That's what it says on AI overview on Google. But yeah, that's a weird thing for a guy to hear, because I'm pretty sure, it's wild. Okay, so nighttime erections means I'm healthy, but when I'm ripping daytime boners, they're like, you're unwell. And I'm like, which is it? What? Oh, so physically I'm healthy, but mentally I'm unwell because of the time of my penile tumescence. What the fuck does tumescence even mean? But yeah, whatever. Maybe I am mentally unwell because I like to talk about my dick and say fuck, and I feel crazy sometimes where like I feel like I'm opening up to people when I'm just like, fuck this shit, bitch ass, fuck, and I'm doing that because I feel comfortable around you. And it's weird when I get slapped on the wrist like I'm some sort of drifter motorcycle dive bar bum who's like talking like a pirate, and I'm like, this is how I relax, dude. I like to just let loose and talk about fucking bones and shit, dude. Me saying the F word is like me ripping a cig. I'm just like, fuck, dude. Like the way it feels is how it sounds when somebody who's enjoying a cigarette exhales, and that's what it is. Maybe that is a mental issue that I have, but guess what? We're all fucked, and it doesn't matter, because I have what doctors call anxiety, or as everyone else calls annoying issues that no one can relate to. Again, it goes back to my small things thing. Telling people what makes you anxious is like showing them your butthole, where you're like, well, this is what everyone's looks like, and then they see yours and they're like, that's not what I have, and you're like, we all said we have it, and they're like, yeah, but mine doesn't look that gross. But then I look at theirs and I'm like, well, yours looks weird. I mean, everybody's anxiety is unique to them, but it's something you don't always want to share, because it's like these weird little super hyper customized fears only for your brain. And I'm trying to think what's been making me anxious sometimes. I mean, I like weird stuff will set my brain off. We were watching Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, and there was an episode where Jerry was interviewing Matthew Broderick, and I was like, okay, I'm in entertainment. My brain is like, I'm in entertainment, they're in entertainment. And I was looking at Matthew Broderick, and I was just like, man, what is he even doing with his career? And I go, that guy was like Ferris Bueller movie star. And then my brain, because I don't know much about him, was like, oh my God, he's not doing anything. I go, and then my brain like took that story and was like, geez, you can be at the top and still not do shit. And then you're not, and then what's the point of this? And then my chest got hot and I was anxious, and it made me scared that like, what the fuck am I even doing? And like right now, some of you are hearing the story, like, what are you even saying to me right now? And to you, it's this numbing, like boring rant from a crazy person. And to me, this was a moment I had in my kitchen that I will never forget. Think about that. Think about that right there, where I thought I was going to be Matthew Broderick in fucking 10 years, or not even amount to that. And, it's good though. It's whatever. I got past it. I go to therapy now, and she taught me how to not push away my anxiety. You just got to sit with it. You got to, the term face your fears and your fears will disappear is basically like the strategy to get over anxiety, where, when you're anxious, your body's like trying to resist this feeling or emotion. And the weird fix for that is you kind of just saying, no, I'm going to sit with this. I'm going to let the animal, I'm going to let the beast in the room. You're going to go in the cage with the lion, and then come to find out that lion is just two guys in a fucking costume suit who's been scared. You're like, oh, this isn't even real. It doesn't even matter. But it's good. I'm glad we're at a point in time where I know that. I mean, that's a beauty that we have accepted mental health to the point where I can, experience it and then talk to somebody about it and then reverse engineer it to the point where I'm like, okay, I know how to move past these things. Like, think about if you grew up in the 60s, like, and you were like, Matthew Broderick's career path gave me a panic attack, and they were like, he has the heebie-jeebies. I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? They go, you have the heebie-jeebies, and we're going to prescribe you a pack of cigarettes. And you're like, okay, this is so unhealthy that I am concerned. And that's how a lot of our parents battled through mental health. They kind of just went outside, ripped a cig or the F word or both. Fuck. And then they had to disclose to people that you have the heebie-jeebies, which sounds like it does sound accurate for how silly the stories are. Imagine me being like, dude, man, oh my God, I thought it was Ferris Bueller and I had a panic attack. They go, you fucking little heebie-jeebie looking ass motherfucker. And I'd be like, no, it's a real disorder. Like, heebie-jeebie sounds more, it does make sense, but you know, I mean, whatever, dude. What's fucking new outside of all that crap? I like, what else am I doing as I get older? I've been using ChatGPT to like try to get smarter, which is funny because I've also realized how often ChatGPT's wrong. But I like just, I don't know what it is. I've been like, it's so weird the second you leave our education system where I'm like, I'm ready to learn now. Like, what a weird time to just like go all in. And the saddest part is anything you learn after like your last day of high school, college, whatever your like your most recent level of formal education is. How come like anything you learn after that, people are like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, we don't care about your like extracurricular self-masturbatory homeschooling you're doing. Like, how come like getting smarter outside of school feels like it doesn't even count? And that's because I think it's because everybody on the internet is that now. Like, Facebook is littered with just these people where it's littered with these people that we knew were terrible students who are dumb fucking idiots. And now for some reason, because of like the internet and podcasts and these information, quote unquote, information sources, they walk around now. They're like, as if they're, these professors of an Ivy League school. I'm like, no, you're still dumb. Anything you learn or have absorbed after the fact is just like shit you've memorized, but it doesn't really mean you're smarter. It's mean you just memorize quotes and statistics, and now you are just, that's your mask in the real world. It doesn't mean, we know the guy deep down is still the person that didn't pay attention in school and learned cursive late and every little detail that you remember of the fucking dumb kid and growing up. And it sucks because I am generally trying to like, I'm like, let me see what it's like to, let me like dig into some really smart people questions. And I had ChatGPT just like kind of like give me like lessons, like these like scenario. Like I didn't want to just learn like math. I didn't want to like just study like, you know, boron and chemistry and all that crap. I wanted it to know like these really smart scenarios that kind of makes your brain think. ChatGPT. Let me go to, I can't remember what they were. Give me a really hard scenario that only smart people can crack. Let's hear that. That's a smart guy way to write it. Scenario, the logic trap. You're in a room with 3 light switches. In another sealed room you cannot see inside are 3 light bulbs, each switch controlling 1 bulb. You may flip switches however you want. Then you can enter the bulb room 1 time only. Your goal, determine which switch controls which bulb. The bulbs are all the old incandescent type. They heat up. What a weird way to like, okay, they heat up. What sequence of actions guarantee you identify all 3 correctly? Like that, what, like, I was like, let me just like dig into that shit because I feel like if I start learning, these weird little kind of conundrums, that's my attempt of sounding big. I go to the doctors. What conundrums are we in now? They go, your blood pressure's high. I go, interesting. But like shit like that. And you know what? For the sake of you guys knowing, okay, I'm gonna say what's the answer to number one, because I fucking don't know what it is. What's the answer to number one? Let's just see what it is. The correct answer to number one, turn on switch A, leave it on for 5 minutes. This heats up the bulb connected to switch A. After 5 minutes, turn off switch A and turn on switch B. Bulb A is warm, bulb B will be lit, and bulb C is untouched. Step 3, walk into the bulb room. You'll see one bulb on, that's switch B. One bulb is off but warm, that's switch A. One bulb is off and cold, that's switch C. So that's like an interesting detail, and they kind of hinted at it. See how they said the bulbs are the old incandescent types, they heat up. But you might see, like, my brain was like, why did they tell us that? See how you saw my stupidity literally insult the clue. The basically they were like, here's how you answer it. And I'm like, why did they put that they heat up? What the fuck is that? And then I'm trying to sit here being like, let's learn more predicaments. And you're like, hey, dumb ass. Like, that's the part of me that I was like, let's get better. Let's learn how to move past insulting the obvious and try to learn what it is. But again, I feel like, the snapshot is there. I do want to take an IQ test one of these days. And I'm also terrified to take an IQ test. Taking an IQ test as an adult is like when you were single and you took an STD test. You're like, I know I should take it, but I'm scared of what's going to tell me. And you know what? At this point in my life, do I want to know? Do I want to know the answer? Do I want to lead the life I'm telling you guys I'm trying to lead of truth and honesty? Or do I let this one little lie linger till my deathbed? I want to take an IQ test and seal it and put it somewhere and say, when I'm on my deathbed, I want you to show me this. And the rest of my life, I'm going to talk like I scored literal Albert Einstein level. I will carry myself like that. I'll keep doing the things you just saw where I basically deflect any sort of clue towards the answer of whatever issue I'm dealing with. I will say words like predicament and conundrum and etc. And then on my deathbed, after I've fooled the world, I gain huge accolades for just lying through my teeth. And then I will open the envelope and it will show that I'm remedial as fuck. It'll show that I'm so just dumb. Just fucking, there's a number to my stupidity now. And that's how the movie ends. That's how the movie of Matty Chimber will end. It'll be me 90 fucking 9, 112 or 20, whatever we can live to in the future. I'm going to be on that deathbed with a fucking dean. Like when people graduate college and like the fucking old people are on the stage in those like goddamn Harry Potter outfits, whatever that is. What are you doing on the stage of a graduation? I understand that students are in robes and caps and gowns, whatever you want to call them. And then the teachers are go, cool. Let's one up the children. Let's let this most important day of their life be the shadow of our fucking bizarre wizard outfits that make no sense. I mean, like, especially schools where they'll have like Will Ferrell come and give like a speech, and he's wearing this like wizard outfit, and you're like, let the kids enjoy the cap and gown for one day. Teachers, wear the teacher thing you've been wearing all school year. This isn't your day. I know you think you help these kids graduate or whatever the case may be, but let the children stand out. put down your goddamn wizard things. But anyways, I will be wearing that on my deathbed like I'm the dean of a prestigious school, because I probably will be. And we will reveal that I have special needs. And everyone stares into the camera, and it's an episode of Black Mirror. And you know what? That's what's going to happen, because life's a lie. It doesn't even matter. But I like to lead some sort of truthful thing. Let's get into a fun little nugget that is basically, this is a tough one, because I get annoyed at people and things, but it's these scenarios. They're very tricky scenarios where my annoyance, if I vocalized it, I sound like the bad guy, but deep down I know the person is the bad guy. Matt, what are you talking about? I get annoyed when people film themselves helping homeless people. Now, everything about these videos is like endearing with the music, the situation, etc. But like, I get annoyed because you're only doing that because you want like a pat on the back from social media or whatever the case may be. Whether you're filming yourself helping homeless people on the street, or you're at like a soup kitchen and you're taking a selfie at a soup kitchen with homeless people waiting for food because they're starving. You're like, I get so angry at these types of people, but yet I don't vocalize it often, because I feel like very easily they can be like, what do you mean I'm helping the homeless? What are you doing? And now I'm going to get into this pissing match where the next step of the argument would be, well, why did you're filming it? Like you're a loser. Do it without filming it. Do it without this self-congratulatory nonsense. But like even that level, you'd be confronted with like, why I'm just spreading awareness about help. Like, see, it's like this weird gray area debate thing. This feels like one of those ChatGPT scenarios where you're like, how do you strategically and accurately voice how much people who film themselves helping homeless people suck ass without you in turn looking like the bad guy? And I don't know how to do that. So that's one. And then there's another one. It's more of a niche LA thing. It's when there's somebody who's famous or who's on the come up, and they post like something where they achieve something, which I'm not mad at that. But I get annoyed when there's people who are notable dick riders, we'll call them, will comment on this person who's famous or coming up's post, being like, "Oh, good job, buddy! Great, blah, 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 blah." And it's like, I get annoyed at those people because I'm like, you're just a dick rider. You are doing what you do, and it's latching on or just setting the tone of trying to be near or around or associated with this successful person, but you never see that person commenting on somebody who isn't of that status's posts where they're doing something well. Like it's weird. But again, it's one of these things where, you know, I can vent to somebody privately, but like if you try to really like hit the streets with this idea, they're gonna be like, "What do you mean I'm congratulating him?" So I'm like, wow, it's one of these. I call it a gray area. It's a gray area argument, and I think there's a lot of these in the world, and it's funny because we know the subtext of what's going on, but it's so buried in fake good intentions that you're like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. It's like when Indiana Jones was trying to get that ball without triggering the goddamn bigger ball. I don't know. Remember when he was trying to like get that vase and he had to like swap his bag or whatever, purse or whatever he had? It's like one of those where you really gotta hit it good. And you know what? I think sometimes these types of things they're not even worth like trying, because you know what, you slip up once, it's like on a tightrope. You slip once, you're gonna fall into the pit of this guy's an asshole. And you know what? It's for here, because you guys know what I'm talking about, and that's why I like it here. This is a safe space where we can say terrible things, and no one's gonna side with the opposite. In this room, in this podcast, we always side with the person voicing the annoyance, because that's what we do here. We take our little small thing. If we imagine all 12 of us are sitting in a circle, you take your small thing and you go, this is somebody who feeds homeless people and films it. And then we're all going to like kind of a clap. No one's going to push back and go, what? That's that. What? No, we're all going to clap. We're going to listen to the person arguing. And then we're going to go to the next person. And you're going to say, this is people who think they get smarter after high school, even though it doesn't count anymore. That's funny. And they go, oh, fuck them. Yes. And then that's how it is. And that's what's going to happen. So this is a safe space. And feel free to comment below what your small thing is. And maybe we'll make it into a t-shirt and I'll give it to you. Last thing I'll say, because I got to go. I'm doing to the Comedy Store in LA. They do a holiday party. And this is the first year I formally got invited, because I'm in development there and it feels good that I should be there. I feel like in past years, I never went before, but this is the first time where I'm like, oh, I'm going to be on a list to get in the room, and I'm excited. So we're going to end on this. I talked about the news earlier, and I wanted to bring this up, and I didn't. I watch the news every morning. I mean, KTLA, whatever morning news is on, and the little ticker at the bottom is just saying terrible shit. And I want to read this so I get it right. I go, why do we always have the same story on the news? Processed food might be bad for you. Why don't we just get the fucking people in the room so we can confirm it right now? I feel like the news loves playing like middleman for the sake of having constant material to bring up. Processed food might be bad for you, says scientists. Processed food might actually not be bad, says processed food company. You're like, why don't we get the motherfucking scientists in the room as the processed food people, and we can get the news in there, and then you can say, is this dog shit that we're buying bad for us, yes or no? And they do their little tests, and then we take that story when they say, no, this is shit, you're eating fucking aluminum and hair and teeth from 9 different animals, and they're saying it's ham from the deli. They're going to do their study, and then we're going to say, okay, this is not good for you, and then we're going to move on. I'm sick of the news being this like hearsay, like, I don't know, I heard, it's like somebody being like, I heard they were saying this, and then you're like, well, what the fuck? I'm as annoyed at them as I am you right now, because you're just being a little operator bitch. And you know what? Let's get the news that goes, okay, we got a laundry list of shit that might be bad, could cause harm, is potentially blank. I want to make a list, and I want to start fucking just crossing these goddamn things out so we can just have the news say the things that are important, even though we don't even know what the fuck that is, because the news is dog shit, and they like just telling us how vague, scary things like man got shot near building yesterday. What the fuck does that mean? Why did you tell me that? Why did you tell me that? I don't need to know that. Well, guess what? Man pissed off in his living room drinking coffee now thanks to stupid fuck news. Guys, that's the episode. That felt good to get off my chest, my 6'4" chest, and I'm excited that I did 2 weeks in a row. So feel free to comment below. I love those. I'll write back. Subscribe, like it. Check out my Instagram. I'm going on tour. I saved the nonsense for the end. I'm going to be on tour. I'm doing Reno, January 29th through February 1st. I'm doing Minneapolis, March 26th through the 8th or some shit like that. I'm doing DC and Charlotte originally were for April and July. My DC date is TBD. The guy double booked it, so I got to figure that out. But I will be there, so if you want to go do the RSVP thing on my website. And then Charlotte, I'm waiting for the ticket link. But again, if you want to go, that'll be in July. Just do the RSVP thing, and I'll have your email, and I can shoot you an email when the show's going to happen. So until then, take care of yourself. Goodbye.
Really isn't anything big, it's all small. I'm getting mixed feels knowing what the pod brings, cause it's a big deal listening to small things.
You bring her out, you have her hold small things. You bring her out, you have her hold small things. You bring her out, you have her hold small things.